This starts with me talking, and this is really fast, and I didn't realize I edited that fast. But, we started our morning driving to Universal Hollywood. Do not use Waze. But we did get to see the Hollywood sign, didn't get a picture of it, smog, loads of fun. But yeah, this is how we started our day. We drove about an hour, 10 minutes from Anaheim to Studio City to get to Universal Hollywood. I highly recommend Sunset Boulevard. I highly recommend paying for premium parking because you get this. And you're also literally like a block, not even a block away from the entrance. But there's the entrance. Very different from what we're used to in Florida for sure. Just some more clips while we wait for my mom to pick up her ECV. And yeah. Halloween Horror Nights set up. Woohoo!
Yeah. Oh, Harry Potter.
Yeah. I just want to look first. Hello. So here's Hogsmeade in the stores. They actually sell that Hermione dress now. It's a monster book of monsters. My dad and I in the store. What I meant to say was they actually sell that Hermione dress now for little kids, which I think is kind of cool. So I went on Buckbeak for the first time since I first went to Universal Orlando in like 2012. Forgot how short of a ride it was. But I will say, because they had to build the new coaster here, it was very, what's the word I'm looking for? It was a lot more smoother. So went back and took a picture in that store with my mom. And now we're in Springfield. Yes, everything is a lot smaller here in California, and more put together than Universal. Obviously, they don't have Diagon Alley. Obviously, the outside the Simpsons ride is the same. They do have the nuclear power plant here. But we were actually headed to the Studio Tram Tour, which is a beautiful hour and 10-minute tour that I am so excited for you all to see. And now I'm going to shut up and let Ellie and Titus do all the talking.
Sing along if you know the words. There we go, there we go. It's okay, we all do it. I just need your permission. And who am I? Well, I'm your tour guide. Hi, everybody. My name is Ellie. I'm going to get you around out there at our movie studio here in just a few moments. But to make sure that everyone has a great time with us, I got to go through a few things. Like, first and foremost, make sure you move all the way to the right-hand side so we can fit as many people on board as we can. And people don't need to climb over you to fit on board. They're just going to see the seats on your left-hand side. If you are already sitting on the left, fill up our tram. We're going to close the gates on that side, so watch your hands, arms, and legs as those gates come down. Make sure if you're traveling with any small children or anyone whose feet don't quite touch the floor of the vehicle, move them towards the center of the tram, away from the railings. It's for their safety, because we don't want to dump you right here, loving it. What I'm not doing isn't looking at the road. In fact, the guy who is doing that for us gets us going here today. His name is Titus. Everyone say, hey, Titus!
Hey, Titus!
He's our driver, and he's going to get us around safely today. But now that I've introduced the two of us, nice and well, let me introduce one last person. He pops up on the tour once or twice. You know him from Saturday Night Live. He used to, currently runs the Tonight Show. Once more, he welcomes all of our guests to the movie studio. My co-host, Jimmy Fallon. Hey, Jimmy, what's up, buddy?
Oh, yeah. You made it. Welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. I'm Jimmy Fallon. I'll be making sure that you get through this experience in one piece. You've got the very best guide.
Ollie!
And the greatest driver.
Titus!
You're the best. I love it. Even though
Ellie!
owes me $5.
What?
I know you guys are excited to get on the tour, but first, a few safety rules.
That's right. If you're dealing with an emergency, like a medical emergency, you drop something off the side of the tram, or having audio-video issues, just reach up, pull the red cord, and remain seated. So I'm there to assist you. And then just remain seated for the duration of the tour, especially while the tram's in motion, keeping your arms and legs inside the vehicle. No, Frankie. Smoking's not especially good, and we do not allow smoking on the tram. Yeah, but you should be prepared because there are going to be some loud noises, some fire effects, some tram movements, water effects, and definitely have your cameras out ready. You never know exactly who or what you're going to see on the lot today, but we do ask that you do not use selfie sticks again for your safety. And because the studio is private property, if you do drop something off the side of the tram or you just really need to use the restroom, that's okay. It happens. But reach up, pull the red cord, and remain seated, so I'm there to assist you. Now, with that being said, we are now in the movie studio. As we head down the Universal Studio timeline here, on either side of the tram, you're seeing posters that represent just a few of the over 8,000 movies produced by Universal Pictures as we head into the studio proper. You're seeing the opening day sales you're seeing there? Yeah, that's the new Super Nintendo World. They were opening early 2023, even as they were constructing this area, productions were going. Now, it was constructed to make sure guests didn't get too close to the action, but that's how the theme park and movie studios always work in a wonderful partnership. As we move moving, we're now seeing the second largest stage, not stage 14, also in this metal air that means that the productions will use multiple stages because they have a lot of sets that they need to use within a short period of time, a few months of filming for a season. Stage 14 being the second largest stage has also housed enormous set pieces like the arc scene from MLIU, Stark Steve Carell, and the mission control scenes from Apollo 13, where director Ron Howard used the stage instead of the real location for a very particular reason. Here he is talking about it.
Realism was an essential element for Apollo 13. After all, we were recreating an important moment in American history, a moment many Americans witnessed on television. We thought about filming in Houston, Texas, where the original control room for the Apollo mission still exists. Unfortunately, NASA's engineers didn't have filmmaking in mind when they built Mission Control, since there was no room for the elaborate camera cranes and tracks we needed for the shots. We had to build our own Mission Control. That's cool. Everything had to be exact, even down to the tiniest detail.
And you can get those tiny details exactly by using any of our stages, including the ones we're now seeing on the right-hand side, known as TV Alley, because these stages were built in the 60s when NBC, the television network, and Universal, the movie studio, first started working together. And of course, we're now one big happy family, Comcast, NBC, Universal. Also known as TV Alley, because usually if a TV show is filming, it's some building on your right-hand side, because that's where actors go to audition every single day. So we want to make sure that we're not interrupting any of their fine acting work. We also are coming to the end of the front line here. We're seeing our final two front line stages. But once again, I'm just looking out for those flashing red lights, but it looks like we're good. Now, we head to the back lot now, where the world is just around the corner. And I'm so excited to take you on a world tour without ever having to leave the tram. Don't worry, you don't need your passports. We already started our trip, though, because we left California behind and made our way into the streets of New York City. And if you're from New York, I meant Chicago. And if you're from Chicago, I meant San Francisco. What I'm saying is, there are metro sets. They look like any major metropolitan city in the world that we want them to look like. You're seeing just a few examples of them in use on your screens. Productions use our metro sets instead of heading out to the real city because oftentimes it's cheaper. Think about all the businesses on a city street. Whenever you're filming using a real business location and you have to shut it down for the day of filming, you have to pay them for the entire day's worth of earnings that they would have made that day. It takes weeks, sometimes months to film just a scene in a single film, so you know what? that gets real expensive real quick. There's no building, there's no businesses out here. They just rent out the space once and can use it however they like. In fact, as we turn the corner, we're going to see a little bit of production starting. So they're prepping for 2 different productions in what we call our Courthouse Square area and parts of our metro sets for Ted, the series starring, created by, written by Seth MacFarlane, based off of the Ted films, as well as Bel Air. They are both prepping in our sort of metro sets. So if you look to your right down that very first street as we make the turn, that's part of our Courthouse Square area, which some of you already know it. For those who don't, on your screens, who see Courthouse Square, it's Hill Valley, California, for the back to prehistoric times. Now, I want to keep you safe, so this is a reminder to remain seated, keeping your arms and legs inside the vehicle, and take this time to secure your personal belongings. Now, tucking your phone to your bags, because the last thing you want is them falling off the tram and getting lost in SoCal.
Okay, Peter Jackson, hold on. Oh, God. Yeah, we're right here. Oh, hell. Right there, too.
Got wet, yep.
That was Count 363D. That was one of the largest, one of the most intense 3D experiences on the planet. And we did survive. But I gotta ask, did anybody else get any dinosaurs spit on them?
Yeah.
Yep. Just solo, right?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully that is the last time we experience any spitting dinosaurs. Hopefully. Now go ahead and take off your 3D glasses, but put them somewhere safe. You're going to need them later on in the tour. And if I haven't told you to put them on yet, don't worry. You don't need them. But let's talk about what we experienced there. Ask me about Peter Jackson and his team over at What Digital now, known as What FX. You know What FX, they've won numerous Academy Awards, working on projects like Plog, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, the Hobbit trilogy, Avatar, the Planet of the Apes trilogy, Avengers Endgame, Shang-Chi, Multiverse of Madness, and my favorite, their first movie, The Frightener, starring Michael J. Fox and Jake Busey. Now, take a look at the screens we drove through. Enormous, standing at 40 feet tall, over 180 feet long, using 16 movie projectors to create that truly immersive experience. That's why some of the most up-to-date 3D tech in the industry.
Represents where the screen is 10 meters away. We're really creating about 50 minutes of a feature film. That amount of visual information, that number of pixels, and presenting it to the audience, it's a hell of a ride.
was a crazy ride that we became a part of right at the end. One of the T-Rexes grabbed the back of a tram and pulled us over the cliff. The moment the tram went on screen, it became a picture car, which is any vehicle that's in the picture frame for film, television shows, commercials, music videos. And I bring that up and tell you to have your cameras out ready. What's coming up on the left-hand side is the first time we're going to see some of the coolest picture cars that have ever crossed the Universal back lot. Some of these vehicles becoming just as famous as the actors who drove them. But it's Hollywood, you guys. So start to learn here that not everything you see is as it appears. In fact, sometimes it's fake. Like that iconic Ferrari 308 from Magna PI. That's actually a Volkswagen engine with a fiberglass Ferrari shell. And that's because Ferrari parts would be too expensive to maintain, repair, replace for the entire run of the show, especially a long-running series like Magna PI. So they didn't use Ferrari parts.
Get it?
Yep.
You've got the vehicles from the Flintstones, which are obviously not made out of wood or stone or bone. But what's not obvious is that they're simply modified golf carts, and they do drive around. Now, we got the gyrosphere featured in Jurassic World in the movies, both 1 and 2. It was encased in glass. That's how people got around on the island. But as you can see, there's no glass out here, and that's because there was never any real glass. It was added in post-production. Filming with glass or even plexi presents issues with lighting and reflections, elements that can be removed digitally, but it's even easier and cheaper to just add the glass digitally. Even the boat, the Crawdaddy from us, is considered a picture car, and yes, it's still considered a picture car, not like a picture boat. Picture car is any vehicle. It's a car, a truck, plane, boat, motorcycle, tram, scooter, bicycle, skateboard. If it's a vehicle, it's considered a picture car in film and TV. And one of my favorites is the tank at the end. Looks great and is primarily made out of wood, making stunts like, I don't know, being exploded by Megatron stepping on it a lot easier. But our world tour keeps us moving here, you guys. We're leaving Scary Skull Island behind. We're heading to the much safer Isla Nublar.
Oh, yeah. Gracias,
Much safer. Now, on either side of the tram, you're now going to see props and picture cars from the first 3 Jurassic Park films. A prop being anything an actor touches, holds, sits on, uses, or moves. A prop can be as small as a paperclip or as large as all these empty dinosaur cages, but I'm sure there's nothing for us to worry about. We're just here to take a look at the picture car from the also World Jurassic Park. This is the second in the film's franchise. We're looking at the RV unit on the left-hand side, which, like the tank, is primarily made out of wood. So this stunt of going over the cliff, a lot easier to film because it's lightweight. Now, it's been out here for a while, so you can see that it's made out of wood. If you look at the very back.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Wood paneling and oh no! The dinosaurs are attacking through the trees! Watch out!
Backside of water.
There's a Alphasaurus ahead of us! We have to watch it!
As long as he doesn't spit on us again, I'm happy.
Sorry about that, everybody. But I like pointing out that even the trees that you're seeing here, not real. Made out of foam rubber and used while filming Jurassic Park. The franchise is famous for filming on location, which on-location filming is just when you're not filming at a studio. So they're famous for filming on location in Hawaii, using the jungles of Hawaii as the jungles for the film. But for the scenes where they wanted to control the animatronic dinosaurs, the robots that they built to use, those scenes did film right here at the Universal Studio lot inside sound stages. And to recreate the prehistoric jungle, they had to create it using super lightweight materials. Again, the trees are made out of foam rubber. There is a slight steel skeletal structure that's a part of it. At the bottom of each one of them, there's a wheel on one side, a handle on the other, kind of just lift it up, move it around, do whatever you need. And in fact, they didn't have to make too many trees. Like, they didn't have to make a forest full of trees. They only needed to build enough for the frame of the shot that they were using. If they needed to have a few other scenes in a controlled environment, all they had to do is kind of turn the trees around, reframe the shot, and hopefully you're paying attention to the actors in the foreground, not realizing you're looking at the same 10 trees over and over again. But that's why you use the studios. They would create and control as many of the filmmaking elements as possible.
Yeah.
Now, as we enter the next stop on our world tour, an area known as Old Mexico, featured in The Three Amigos, starring Chevy Chase, Mark Short, Steve Martin. I'm going to show you how on a beautiful sunshiny day like today, we can make it rain. We just need a little help from our special effects team. All right, y'all, we got the people in. Get it started. Now that's thunder, a pre-recorded sound being blasted through speakers. You might even see the lightning, a high-intensity strobe light effect. You see it most bouncing off the buildings here during the daytime. But I said a rainstorm, everyone. So let's get the super cool effect started. And that is being created with a super high-tech system known as a sprinkler system. and sprinklers on the rooftops and poles and trees, shooting the water straight to the air, which allows it to fall back to earth naturally, just like real rain would. But I can't stress enough the best part of the studio is you can create whatever your imagination desires. And I want something bigger, like a natural disaster, a flood. By releasing thousands of gallons of water from the top of the hill, we can create a flood, but can we control it? Titus, that's a real question. Can we control it this time? No? Okay, that's... Watch out!
Oh, it's down over there.
Okay, so yeah, of course we can control it. Whether it's the bump in the middle of the road that helps give you that first cinematic splash of water, the water cannons that give you the additional splash up to the top in less than a minute. These elements are always going to create the same rainstorm, the same flood, so when the director wants to use those elements, they know they won't have to worry about environmental continuity. That is, the environment is going to do the same thing for every take. Instead, we can focus our attention on the actors and getting the best performance possible. As we drive out of the wet portion of Old Mexico, on your left-hand side, the very next street you can see is the dry portion of Old Mexico region and Nacho Libre, starring Jack Black and in an episode of Star Trek Picard's first season. But let's take a look at those elements in use. This is where Big Liar, Sir Quadri Body about the minds of Frankie Venus. This is also where I give my shout out to stunt performers, because Quadri Body is amazing. So the guy that took this wall of water and tumbled down the hill, also amazing, right? Stunt performers for the win. Now on your left, we're looking at portions of 6 Points, Texas, currently close to us for Quantum Leap. I wasn't kidding. They're literally all over our back lot right now. They were striking from our metro sets. They were filming there yesterday. They are prepping here at our 6 Point sets. Some of the oldest Western sets in Hollywood. Definitely some of the oldest sets here on the Universal lot. Recently seen on the big screen in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and on the small screen in Peacock original series Angeline. But we are about halfway through the tour at this point, so this is my reminder to you that if you need to grab my attention for any reason, you're dealt with an emergency, just reach up, pull the red cord, and remain seated, so I'm there to assist you. On your left, we're looking at Park Lake, separating us from some of our backlot sound stages. Those stages recently home to The Voice, with judges Blake Sheldon, Gwen Stefani, John Legend, Camille Cabello. That was most recently what was in there, but used all the time, and so is that body of water. There's the lagoon and creature from the Black Lagoon, and more recently, it was where Eleanor Shellstrom and Chidi Agbaye had a date. On the show The Good Place, which is my segue, because as we cross the pond to the next stop on our tour of Little Europe, we head to a set location which for 4 years became The Good Place. Welcome. Everything's fine.
You, Eleanor Shellstrom, are next.
Cool.
This is the location. I've never seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here. I can't risk going to a bad place.
Maybe it's not all that bad.
How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
Little Europe has been The Good Place. It was Port Royale on the Pirates of the Caribbean films. It was the fictional kingdom of Genovia, Princess Diaries 2, Oil and Air, and The Princess Parade. Happened right down this cobblestone road. And for those of you who just watched the 25th anniversary reunion special for Cinderella, starring Brandy and Whitney Houston, did you recognize? Yeah, this is the kingdom in that film too. This is where they were singing and dancing, but my favorite version of Cinderella. This is also where Universal really became what the studio is today, and an entire genre filmmaking got its start with classics like Dracula, The Wolfman, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Frankenstein. The Universal monster is a oh my goodness, in fact, one of our biggest Universal monsters in the Court of Miracles right now. Everyone say hey to the Invisible Man. Hi. It's okay if you can't see him. He is a little shy, the Invisible Man. It was in the late 20s, early 30s that these productions, these movies, birthed a genre. Some say that Universal was heavy-handed in that creation, but also created the studio. These helped make the money that was spent later on other films. It was here in Little Europe that All Quiet on the Western Front earned Universal its very first Academy Award Best Picture award. That was All Quiet on the Western Front over here. Also, any Star Trek fans out there? It's okay, I am a huge one, so I will speak for all of us. But if you're a fan of the Next Generation era, basically all three of those shows, TNG, Voyager, Deep Space Nine, if they were in a vaguely European village in the holodeck, they were probably right out here in our little European sets. And that's not true today. Like, they still come out here. I told you Picard was in our 6-point sets. They were in another portion of our lot as well not too long ago. I'll point that out when we pass it. But that courtyard has a special treat, a special feature. In fact, all of our sets do. They don't always appear on screen as you would think they would. For instance, anybody a fan of Pirates of the Caribbean? The second film in the franchise did a lot of filming out here. That's when it was Port Royale. But for that movie, there was a big ballroom brawl that took place. Jack was just trying to get his hat back, but it kept going from person to person as he kept getting punched out. Goes Jack Sparrow. Well, that indoor ballroom brawl took place in that outdoor courtyard. And the production was able to trick audiences in 2 major ways. The first one, they never showed you the ceiling. Now, take a look at the framing of each shot. There's never a chance for the camera to look up and notice that there isn't anything up there. But also, they tricked the mind by adding some set decoration to give you the impression there was a ceiling. They hung a chandelier from a crane just outside the door. So in your mind, you think, oh, chandelier, there must be a ceiling, and that's all you need. Because once again, in Hollywood, you only need to do just what the camera's going to see. Your imagination takes care of the rest. And set dressing into Soundstage 50 now, which looks like a subway station in this episode of Bones, as a subway station in Washington, D.C. You might better recognize it as a subway station in Beverly Hills for Beverly Hills Cop 3 and for Beverly Hills Chihuahua. But if you take a look at the set dressing, which is any prop that has been nailed to the set, you can tell we're in neither of these cities now, right? And you can use dialogue to say, I take the train every morning in San Francisco, California, or you can show that giant poster. Oh. Alright, nothing to worry about, you guys. This is California. We get those kind of tremors all the time. Just remain seated securely. And when they come, everyone, I think we're just going to buy this one out. We should be safe. There's up the ceilings coming in on the left. Watch out! Now the sidewalk's cracking in the light.
Oh, it got hot, right? That's hot.
Can't believe the shaking has stopped the damage this time. Let's get out of here before anything else bad happens.
That's cool. That is cool.
Nice
Hey, put the fire out.
Yeah.
And our team was cut and head. Reset the moon back to 1. Alright, congratulations everybody. You did it! You survived earthquake the big one. Give yourselves a round of applause. That was a simulated 8.3 earthquake based off the 1974 disaster earthquake, and that was a large-scale mechanical effect known as a practical effect. Now in Hollywood, when you hear practical, think real or real enough. So a practical effect is one that happens in front of the camera. You can see it, you can touch it, you can smell it, you can taste it. But I don't recommend tasting anything we just saw there. From the same episode of Bones, they use that practical effect and then added digital effects on top of it, CGI or computer-generated imagery, to really help make the scene pop. I gotta say, after 2 dinosaur attacks, a flood, and an earthquake, I think we deserve a little rest and relaxation. So, let's go have some fun in the sun, everybody. Let's go tan in the sands of Amity Island. Where don't you thinking, shark! We caught a shark this morning, hanging in front of the hotel. Nothing for us to worry about. We're just gonna dip our toes in this clean, pristine. There's definitely another shark out there. But that's okay, there's a police diver out there too. Let me get his attention. Hey, George! George, buddy, yeah, there's another shark out there. You might want to swim back to the boat for your safety. All right, he's going to swim back to the boat now and warn. Oh, no. Man, he's got a lot of guts being out there like that. Oh, and there they are. Oh. You know what? Let's see remain seated. We're going to pull up next to these docks for our safety. Fill with safety equipment like gasoline. Gasoline? Wait, but there's nothing but gasoline here. Okay. We got some bait for the shark at the end of the pier. Oh no. The pier went with the bait. And bait stopped moving. Anybody have eyes on the shark? Maybe it's off in the distance where we first saw him. We have to find this shark, y'all.
That's cool. That's cool.
Oh, there it is. Alright, that was Bruce the shark, and let's give it up for Brucey. Yay! That is the only shark in the world that can do the backstroke. Because it's a robot. And it's going back to one now. Back to one being an industry term, meaning back to the beginning of the scene or back to the beginning of the shot, so you can take it again. Our shark goes back to one for every tram, which means it actually works a lot better than Steven Spielberg's shark did when he was filming Jaws. Because on the very first day of filming, when he took his shark out to the ocean on day one, his shark sank. Literally.
That's a much more shark. The shark is much better. Didn't really go shark at all.
They were always saying, the shark is not working. Repeat, the shark is not working.
We just waited a minute. We just waited. The shark going up for a while there.
And while these sets were built to mimic Amity Island, Jaws never filmed here. But it is a filming location in shows like Last Man on Earth, one of my favorite episodes of Community, the clip show episode, but all the clips are brand new. Did some filming out there. And for 12 years, that was Cabot Cove, Maine in Murder, She Wrote, starring Angela Lansbury's novelist Jessica Fletcher. And this clip is a perfect example of how that not very real location looks real enough when it's in the background and you're paying attention to the acting instead. That's basically true for how most of these sets work. Like our suburban neighborhoods, Elm Street on your left-hand side, most recently used in 911, or the Chicken Ranch on your right, built in the 80s for the best little house in Texas. Oftentimes these simply serve as backdrops, as a initial shot of the location where they're living, quote unquote. But then when they're doing inside filming, they're actually inside one of our sound stages. For instance, take the neighbor of the Chicken Ranch. There's clearly no way someone is shooting a film in there, because there is no in there, right? Well, I'll tell you more about how most of the sets you're seeing are more like this one than you think. But first I want to highlight one of my favorite parts of the lot. It's because so many people get excited. It's been here for 60 plus years. The name of the street is Colonial Street. You might have seen shows like the Hardy Boys or Nancy Drew's show filming out here. We've got sets from the Munsters out here, but what most people still love is set back in 92. Is there's Wisteria Lane on Desperate Housewives for 8 seasons. This is your perfect traditional neighborhood. It's also where you see a lot of commercials filming, like Ace Hardware or Taco Bell or car commercial rolling through. And that's because these sets are made for filmmaking. Like the street we're driving on now is so narrow that no matter where you place the camera, on either side of the street or right down the middle, you're able to capture the action happening on both sides. You'll see that as we come to the end, we're going to curve into a cul-de-sac and make our way back. But once we're in the middle of the street, look forward, look back. The turns, the curves, make it look like there's a neighborhood right around the corner. But we now know that there's either just slightly more street or a movie studio. And here's where I tell you how most of these buildings that we've been looking at, including my favorite, the one on your left, are what we call facades. Just the fronts and sides of buildings, because we only need to build what the camera sees. Your imagination takes care of the rest. That's why you've seen so many of these flats. You open that orange door, you see nothing but the mountain behind it. Now for Desperate Housewives, they did build some partially practical elements to several of these homes. So some of them have partially practical living rooms, partially practical kitchens. The one at the very end, the house at the very end of the house, at the very end of the cul-de-sac, that was built for the second season of Desperate Housewives. So it's the only practical set here. And again, as you look at either corner, it looks like there's a neighborhood just around the bend. But as you know, we are now heading out back into the movie studio, and I love it so much because it's how we always trick the eye. And as I said, this area's been here forever. You've seen it in TV shows, commercials, music videos. One of my favorite music videos it was used on, because I was just a certain age and you're gonna have to deal with that. Smash Mouth, hey now, you're an all-star, get your game on, go play. Okay, just me, that's fine. Again, the amount of control a production team is allowed to exert over the lot allows them to do something fantastical, especially if they're trying to use practical elements. For instance, even on what we call Wilderness Road, the street we're driving down right now, this became the Wilderness For Bird Box, starring Sandra Bullock as she was blindfolded trying to escape the monsters. For another episode of 911, starring Angela Bassett, Peter Fausta, there was an overturned limousine due to a mudslide, which was really funny. I was working here that day. They forgot to tell us tour guides what they were prepping for, so all of a sudden we're rolling up and there's an overturned vehicle to our left, your left-hand side, my right-hand side. I was like, oh, look at this. Luckily it was just filming, but they can do whatever they want with the space out here, which again is a little over 400 acres of land. But I have to let you know, we're about 15 minutes away from the end at this point. Even though we're almost done, if you need to grab my attention, just reach up, pull the red cord, and remain seated, so I'm there to assist you. Now here's your second picture car opportunity, this time on the right-hand side, giving me an opportunity to talk more about cars and how when you're filming, you're going to use 3 or more versions of the same vehicle while filming. Because one is your hero car. This is the one you capture driving around, the one that you actually see on film. Then you've got your dialogue vehicle, a vehicle oftentimes cut in half or missing its windows, so you can capture the dialogue of the scene. Often this one is set up inside a soundstage on a gimbal or robotic arm that moves it around to make it look like the actors are driving when they're actually just kind of sitting in the gimbal like, well, okay. Then you have 3 or more just in case you need more hero cars, or just in case you want to blow up a bunch of cars like the Fast and Furious franchise. You know, like whatever your just in case is, you're going to want 3 or more versions of the same vehicle. And while those cars are safe as they belong to the car lot of the Bates Motel, at this point you're probably saying, hey Ellie, why aren't you talking about all the obvious other stuff? Well, now I am, okay? It's my favorite season of the year. Halloween Horror Nights is back here at Universal Studios Hollywood, and my favorite maze, hands down, not just because I work here, is Terror Tram. For this maze, they literally drop you off at the base of Bates Motel. You have to walk around the actual sets of the motel, the actual sets of the Psycho House, a few more sets as part of the tour, and about half the people dropped off make it back alive. Yeah, sometimes they run into the owner of the motel though, and that, that's bad for them because they're on foot. Luckily we're in a tram, so we should be safe as we can. Hi, Norman, I was just telling everybody how cool you are now. We should probably move faster. Oh no, you know what? I think we're going to be fine if we just head to a much safer neighborhood. Yeah, Titus, let's get to Jersey. That's much safer. Yes, seriously, this is Jersey, but as seen in War of the Worlds, starring Tom Cruise and Dakota Fanning, this is a plane wreck to New Jersey. Real Jersey neighborhood, by the way. They modeled it after a real neighborhood. And even the plane is real. Yes, this is another one of the sets you get to walk through as part of Terror Tram and Halloween Horror Nights. But the plane is real. A 747 that had been retired. The production company bought it from this airplane graveyard. And they're the ones that destroyed it out in the Mojave Desert, bringing it here piece by piece on flatbed trucks. Now, initially, the top of the plane, that was part of the design of the film. But to get it here from the desert to Los Angeles, they had to cut the top off so it could fit underneath freeway overpasses. Yes, our freeways made them cut the top of it off. Once it got here, they were going to put it back on, but Spielberg liked the look of a topless plane, so he just made it look a little dirtier, and here you are. Here he is with production designer Rick Carter telling you a little bit more, in fact, about how this set came to life.
The airplane crash site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around the vision of Steve.
Again, to sit down and talk about war. I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Keep doing something. Listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay? Now I'm closed. Robbie, get in. Get in.
Fans of America's Next Top Model might recognize this area for photo shoots they've done out here. One of my favorite competition shows based on. Brought contestants out here so they can be inspired to do makeup based off of the wreckage they see. Key and Peele used to run around our entire backlot when their show was running, but they use sections up here frequently. And tons of insurance commercials. Because if your house or car looks anything like this, you probably do need some good insurance. But here at Universal, we love a good, big, bombastic spectacle of a film. And it takes a lot of work behind the scenes to make it happen. In fact, sometimes you get cameramen jumping through walls and windows and explosions. You got people on wires. It takes a lot to create the action of Universal Pictures. fun statistic I always love mentioning is that for every one person you see on screen, there's probably about 5 to 10 people behind the scenes, whether it's the makeup artists, the gaffers, the lighters, the set decorators, the set dressers, and yes, those are 2 different people. We've got the cameraman, I mentioned them, the director, obviously, the ADs, first, second, third. It takes a lot of work to put on a major production.
Oh, it's a giant blue screen.
And that was actually one of the big goals for director Jordan Peele. Because Universal's had the fortune to work with amazing generation-defining directors like Alfred Hitchcock, like Steven Spielberg, like Academy Award-winning Jordan Peele. And I bring that up because the next stop on our tour takes us through the real-life sets from his most recent thriller, Note, starring Daniel Kaluuya, Keke Palmer, and Stephen Young. Here's Keke to tell you a little bit about Note and some of the trailer.
What's up, Studio Tour? I'm Keke Palmer from Jordan Peele's film, Note. What's a bad miracle? Well, you'll have to see our movie to answer that one. Until then, I hope you enjoy your visit to Jupiter's clay.
Did you see a UFO in that cloud? Yeah. No.
I ain't never seen nothing like this.
Sets were broken down from when they were filming and brought here piece by piece, rebuilt for us today. And with more on that, I've got Academy Award winner Jordan Peele to tell you about Jupiter's Claim.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky G. Park. Look into the winking room and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Show. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? What? A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience. Built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. It's not looking so live anymore. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy of a gold rush frontier town lies a sinister secret. It is smack dab in the center of the UFO hotspot. Welcome to the world of the crew don't want us here, so let's get out and hope nothing more serious than this takes place, because we're almost done. As we head out of...
This might be more serious than I thought.
Wait, I just said no more serious. You guys keep going on the tour. I want to talk about Falls Lake and... Oh.
I'll tell you who I am, boy.
Okay.
I'm the reason bad guys use a nightlight. I'm the reason the boogeyman begs his mama to look under his bed. And I'm the reason you just lost control of this whole operation.
I'm okay with that.
My name is Special Agent Luke Hobbs of the U.S. Diplomatic Security Service, and as of 16.9 seconds ago, I'm the man in charge.
The hell you are?
Let me clue you in on 2 things, sweet cheeks. 1, there's a high-value witness on the Federal Protection Program. And 2, international crime syndicate by Robert Shaw is honing in on this vehicle to take that witness out. Shaw's as ruthless as they come. They'll stop at nothing to eliminate his target. Every living soul on this vehicle is in serious danger. Other than that, enjoy the ride.
This is not your jurisdiction.
It is now, Stink Pickle.
Stink Pickle?
Stepping in just whenever you feel like.
Mute it.
My pleasure.
Don't you?
That's better.
Yeah, it is.
We're moving your vehicle to a safe location until we have the situation under control. Until then, I want everybody to stay calm. Enjoy the ride. I'm taking care of business.
Hobbs now.
Thanks, Hobbs.
My name is Roman Pierce. Pleased to meet you. My buddy Hobbs asked us to stash you in Shaw for a while. So we brought you in our secret spot. We're having a few friends over. It's a little messy, but it's all good. The more the merrier. Especially you right there in the third row, like I was saying. So look, see over there? It's Hobbs' urban assault vehicle. The best truck the U.S. government can buy. That work of art back over there was made by my man Tej. Think of it as like a Mona Lisa on wheels.
So did you break it down to them?
What's that?
You had one job to do, Roman, one. Alright, look guys, we're gonna keep Shaw from finding you, but to keep you safe, we need your help. We don't want the syndicate tracking us here, so put away your cameras and turn off your cell phones. One flash or one ringtone can give us away.
Oh, look at how beautiful it is over here. Yeah.
Part of the crew. So, we're doing any street racing later tonight. Just dropped Dobbs' name. I'm of course kidding. Street racing is illegal. Please don't actually do that. But big budget action sequences, like the one we just experienced, are a perfect example of modern day filmmaking. Now we have to keep making movies here at Universal for the next 100 years. Sadly, though, those tours coming to an end, so make sure you get the most of the rest of your day at the park by using the Universal Studios Hollywood app. The app is your map for the day, giving you real-time wait times for rides and attractions, as well as show times for shows like Waterworld, the Live Sequel Spectacular. Technically, you could make the 12:15 Waterworld, like technically, but get yourself some lunch and go to the 1:30 instead. Check out our newest ride, See If You Like the Pets, off the leash, located towards the entrance of the park. And if you want to pick up the... Did you guys have fun on my tour?
Yes.
Yay! Let's keep some of that fun loving going for the guy who actually did all the hard work. Let's give it up for our driver, Titus! That made him laugh. There we go. On behalf of him, myself, everyone that works here at NBC Universal. We do hope you enjoy the rest of your day at Universal Studios Hollywood, the entertainment capital of LA. Now, we are rolling...
And I'm back. We very clearly ate at Simpsons Fast Food Boulevard, which, while the taco truck and Duff Gardens are not in the boulevard like it is in Florida, it is split down the street. So let's say you want Luigi's and everybody else wants Krusty Burger, you're gonna have to get your food and go find them to go sit with them. But I will say 2 things about this Fast Food Boulevard. 3 things. Very well themed. Lots more seating. And the food, for some reason, I feel like is more fresh and differently made. Like, it's similar menu, sometimes the exact same menu, but it's not... I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but it is different tasting. But I really love the theming here. Spider Pig! Yeah, so after this, my mom had disability access service, so we had to go get a return time for Simpsons, and we did. So we eventually decided, well, let's head over to Despicable Me instead, and try and get that out of the way. Where does my heart cry? Sorry, I had to with Moulin Rouge. As you can see, more Halloween Horror Nights Dia de los Muertos setup. But they have Super Silly Funland here, which is like a really cool little splash area and like a Dumbo-like ride for kids. So yeah, we obviously went on Minions.
Order of humanity. God, you want to be in me. The training will begin soon, but be warned, danger work.
So we went on Minions, then afterwards, we decided to get a drink at the bar that's like perpendicular to Minions and Secret Life of Pets. It was really good. So we went to Simpsons, and unfortunately Simpsons broke down. So we had to leave, and we decided to go down to the lower lot. Now, those of you that can Google what the escalator and stair thing to the lower lot is, it's on the side of a mountain. So what you do for disability access service is you go down an elevator and then you wait for a shuttle and you essentially join the tram tour. So by the time we got down to Jurassic World, as you could see, that blue puppet was amazing. Over hour-long waits, chaos reigning. I will say Super Nintendo Land looks awesome, but we cut our losses and went back up, and that is one thing that did kind of fail Universal Studios Hollywood, was that whole disability access system. The whole disability access service system down to the lower lot and back up. So obviously we went to go watch Animal Actors. It was getting very hot. I felt really bad for these trainers and these animals, but it was a good way to just relax and chill. And a lot of us in this Animal Actors thing all had the same idea, which was after Animal Actors, head to the Waterworld Stunt Show. There we go. Which is based off the Kevin Costner film of the same name. I did not film a lot because of even though we were not in the splash zone, I didn't want to risk it. I now really want to watch this movie, and I cannot recommend this show enough. It is amazing. There's the plane. I love that curtain call that they said what the stunt performers and actors were in. Please go IMDb these people. They were awesome. We then had dinner at Antojitos, which was a little disappointing, and our first lesson of the trip, which was to stop comparing to Florida. It wasn't disappointing in the fact that the service and food wasn't good, just wasn't the same. So then we drove home. There was some gorgeous sunset. This was part of the Los Angeles area I wish we had explored more, was like the mountains and the valley a bit more. You're going to see somebody on a horse soon. But we had a really easy drive back. There's the person on the horse. That's the first picture of them on the horse. There they are. So yeah, I really loved Universal Studios Hollywood, but we were very tired, very jet-lagged, and we just wanted to get back and shower and sleep, and that's what we did, and I hope you enjoyed this and join us for part 2. 3.